Yeah, what I understand, he's having some difficulty keeping the eyes open. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Did you approve my recording too?
yes, I did.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I did approve your recording a minute or 2 minutes ago.
So we have a substitute channeler tonight.
Would that be
That's
Will?
right. That's right.
We I I'm gonna leave it up to the group who that might be to choose who that might be.
Well, we have several choices, but of course,
They're all me. So it's
well,
not
well,
like,
well,
you're going to manifest somebody who we don't know and somebody's going to suddenly appear and start channeling for us.
It's just who's going to show up with you and through you.
Yeah.
or maybe all of them are going to show up,
Yes, that
in
is
the
an option
course
as
of.
well. Luis suggested the beings of light who haven't been with us since the third, and they've had almost 3 weeks off. Well, with this group anyway, they're still doing, my normal, almost daily channeling, I hope. That's the goal. But the hybrid children will also be happy to stop by, and the Pleiadians are always willing to lend a happy helping hand. And
And
I am
so
ambivalent to which one
yeah,
comes
we're,
through.
we're completely open to your preferences. Uh, and
We could have a show of invisible hands.
That's right. We can do that, or people can put in there, hey, I'd like to, start with that. Basic, Basically, we have the tall whites ready and available, beams of light ready and available,
Well,
and the hybrid
yeah, but
children.
I'm leaving the tall whites out as they
Oh,
did not
okay,
request to come in. And if
sure,
it is not necessary, then they will not do it.
okay.
So I'm not, that's a battle I'm just not willing to fight with a being that's exceptionally more powerful than
Yeah,
I
we'll see what happens, right? Because I do get that the
am.
beams of light really have a message,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I feel that the children are there as well.
Well, we're not going to discriminate. Maybe we'll just see who all comes through. But yeah, we can start with the beings of light and see what happens. Unless the
Well,
peanut gallery wants to weigh in. You guys just want to defer to Luis? You gonna let him speak for you? Is he channeling your thoughts?
Must be.
something's in the air, and everybody
Yeah,
has it apparently.
and the ladies are silent.
Well,
I
Come
still
on,
think
you're
there's
supposed to
a
be the
new.
ones that say F the patriarchy.
I still think there's a new channeler that. I'm just playing around, of course.
Yes, we're introverts.
I'm all about it.
At least so they seem.
Yes.
so
Well, we know they're lending their energetic support, so it'll be fabulous no matter what.
Uh,
well, let's see. We can wait until 6:35 to see if anybody will join us to this for the first round tonight. And
so who's going to be the? Oh yeah,
yeah, Brother
Francis, right?
Francis, he's here
Nice,
already.
nice.
So he's all warmed up. He's always ready to go.
And doing jumping jacks and sit ups and push ups and
and running into walls,
there you go. Warm
being
you up.
tripped up by the selenite beings.
Oh,
Hopefully soft walls.
yes.
No soft walls here.
Oh, it's been a very productive day. I'm enjoying it. Well,
So,
I've already,
Mr. Raid, I purposely didn't say a thing for a minute and let it be there be some silence so that you can enter into your space and delight us as it's appropriate.
as you wish.
Thank you.
And how nice the AC shut off too, so everybody can hear me clearly. Oh boy. Uncle Ray, we know you were trying to bring in the beings of light, but when you got to inviting us and we knew, we said, don't forget us. And it kind of took you out, out of your rhythm. But that's okay because they can still come back. The beings of light are always here anyway. It's just that we chose to come in now. We chose to come in. We saw a little crack and you were talking with us already. And we said, we can come in. We can come in for just a little bit, maybe like a preemptive channeling guest, so to speak. So yeah, we came in, and it's still a party. It's still a party because you guys are all way excited on the inside, and we can sense that. And you got bigger things going on, and you all have plans, and our plans involve you, and your plans involve us, and we're just all waiting for that vibrational match to come in like a big game of vibrational fish. And you say, well, do you have any of these? And we say, that vibration is not a match. Go fish. And you guys will have to go back and do more work again. But that's okay because that's what you're good at. That's what you're here for. That was your goal, to come in here and then raise your vibration so you can explore more of yourself through more of us and other people too. So woo for us and woo for you and woo for the parties we're going to have together. And also we have to have some little press conferences and stuff like that too. But that's not as playful as what we would like. So we'll focus on the playthings, and then, well, Uncle Ray said he will come back and get us. So we will go now, and we will let the beings of light come through, and we will listen, and we will watch you, and we will learn. And then maybe teachers, that was okay. Maybe we can come back, and we can chat with you again and see if you have something for us. Hopefully, singing and more songs, and party favors. But okay, we're gonna go, and we'll be back. And thanks for allowing us to have this little tidbit of time in the human encounter existence realm, and enjoy and play more, and play more, and play more, and more and more. You can never play enough, and we'll be back. Ah. And greetings to all of you. And to our opening act, which was rather unusual, but rather joyful in its existence as well. It certainly adds to the smiles of this group. And anything that adds smiles is a vibrational enhancer and welcome in our lives. Now we come to you in a bit of an unexpected way, at least in your human linear terms. Obviously, this is not a surprise, so to speak, from the energetic realms, but it is a pleasure to be amongst these high vibrational individuals once more. Our lessons for you today are rather important in our way of thinking, for we wish for you to see your shadow self. See it as a separate individual of you, a literal shadow. And it holds your fears. It holds your uncertainties and your anxieties. It holds your worries. And that shadow self holds those things for you, for your benefit. And for this moment, we ask you to focus on the self which does not have those things. The you which is free of fears, doubts, anxieties, and see your shadow self next to you. And you can have a conversation with that shadow self and thank it for being with you and thank it for being such a consistent teacher and for holding on to those lessons which you have not fully integrated, which have not resonated until that particular energetic cycle has been closed by releasing that energy. And then we ask you to stand face to face with your shadow self and tell it that you love it. Yes, you love all of the doubts, the fears, the anxieties which it holds. Now, you hold them in a transitional period. You are not furthering their existence and energizing them by thanking them. You are recognizing them as existing in a non-judgmental way. And once you have recognized that your shadow self holds those things, even if you are not sure what they might be exactly, just know that they are there. And then we ask you to open your arms and hold your shadow self. Give it a loving embrace and then squeeze it even tighter. And we want you to push that shadow self inside you to know that you are one being. Now, we know that you already knew that, but we wish you to understand that loving all parts of yourself is true to your alignment, and recognizing that there is a part of you which holds lessons you have yet to learn can help free yourself from knowing that you are a person who holds these things which do not serve you, to focusing on a whole person who is in the process of learning and becoming the best person they can be by addressing these challenges, these energetic hurdles which you have created for your own vibrational enjoyment. For once you release those, you are free. They shall not return. Now you may have to go over that lesson again just to make sure. But that energy, once released, will free you and create space so you may raise your vibration. Now we understand that it is customary after these particular lessons in this particular group to open up for questions. And we are certainly willing to see what is on your minds.
I guess I'll start the questions, and whoever would like to can ask in the chat to be after me in this instance. Uh, in this phase of becoming that each one of us is going through, always, of course, we're in a sense we are remembering more what love really is, and we're remembering all the parts that make that be, including that which reminds us of where we're lacking it. How could you guide us to be more present with those things so that we don't bypass the shadow, so that we at the same time that we give it attention, we're not bound or stuck in it.
And thank you for that. Understand that it is all perfect, as you know, and those are not just words, but all roads lead to source and higher vibration. It is just some of the trajectories, some of the paths are more direct than others. But in being your authentic self, which we discussed earlier, not in this group, that is the key for when you are your authentic self. When each of your actions and your thoughts echo who you really are in your heart space, in your soul alignment, then not only do you have your best life, best chance for fulfillment, but you also ripple out that authenticity and it frees others to be authentic. And they feel that authentic resonance, and it opens them up to you, for you are gifting them the opportunity to be themselves by being that example. Now, if you find yourself doing something, for instance, with the channel, there are times when he passes by trash when out with his pet. And we ask him, is that the you choose to be? And more often than not, he picks up the trash and takes it back with him. Now, that is but one example, and it is okay to test the waters, to feel that resonance which is not aligned with the authentic you, who you choose to be. All of the choices are valid. All of the choices are significant. And if you choose not to be your authentic self, so be it. That is your path of exploration, and you are welcome to it. But if you are not your authentic self, then your vibration is not uplifting those around you. You are not being that lightning rod that summons divine energy to course through your system and through your auric field and to resonate out amongst all of the consciousness which you encounter, not just the humans and animals. Now, that is a rather lengthy answer. And in some ways, we already know that each of you encapsulate your authentic self and project it in a most fine fashion. You are to be commended for that. And that is one of the reasons why you are here, because this is in a place of authentic sharing where you can actually say and listen and be yourself in a non-judgmental forum of expansion and growth. It is a marvelous gift you have given yourselves. Such is the gift of authenticity, which helped create this entire energetic coordination. We trust that was sufficient, or maybe more than sufficient.
It is perfect and much appreciated. Willow, you're next.
Hi there. Um, circling back to, sorry, circling back to the shadow that you were talking about and the expression of the shadow. I was just curious, how does your shadow represent itself currently at this point in your evolution as a fully integrated being, rather than being a segregated, divided being that is more compartmentalized?
We certainly understand your question, and thanks for bringing it up, as that is on the minds of many, not so much in this group, but in those who may encounter this video later on. Understand that as the density levels increase in your way of thinking, there are always options for choosing low vibrational or what you might consider inauthentic behaviors. We understand that they exist, but they, in truth, do not exist for us because they are not chosen. We do not choose to harbor those thoughts, those actions, those creative endeavors which do not support and accentuate our vibrations, our loving eminence. So our shadow work never comes up for us, for we recognize that the things which you humans consider shadow work do not simply exist in our form, in our reality. Those are for the lower density realms, we will say, and not that they are any less important. They are all representations of source energy. But there are many differentiations, as you know, of that energy. Now, when you get to your fourth density or non-physical and fifth density, there are still things which may lower your vibration, which can be chosen in the realms which the particular consciousness expression inhabits. But as you make those choices of who you are, you will find that the negative aspects are no longer much of an option because you literally think, that's not who I am. If you had to go and abuse someone, you would all refuse. That is not a loving gesture. That is not the loving-hearted being I choose to be, that I choose to represent to the world. Those types of activities are more prevalent in your realm for a reason, to help you come to grips with those low vibrational behaviors, thoughts, and actions, and choose a higher purpose. To choose not to engage in those activities. And as you do that, as you build upon your vibration by reinforcing over and over and over that you are your authentic self at its best, then you will find you have even less of those situations in your experience. And you will find less of those experiences coming to you in an informational way, we will say. For you will begin to literally live your best life as your best vibrational range, the highest vibration you can be, the most source energy you can allow into your existence will help preclude you like a shield, like an umbrella from the rain, or a awning from the sun. You will be protected by your vibration from more of those things, as we are protected from even considering them. We
Thank
know
you.
that as a windy and lengthy answer, but thank you for asking.
Can I ask just one brief follow-up question?
Let me check our time. We have the available.
Okay.
Please continue.
I was just curious. So is there sort of an identity of your shadow self that still exists within all of your aspects? Like, or is that identity of the shadow only existing as its polarized counterpart as the light side of that? And is that the version of the shadow that is more prevalent in your consciousness, if that makes sense?
It makes sense. And we will ask you, do you still harbor all of the fears that you had when you were 3 or 4 years old?
No, they've definitely shifted a bit.
So you have progressed beyond those as your understanding and remembrance of yourself has increased. And in your true remembrance, how much of those low vibrational thoughts do you think you will entail in your identity?
They probably won't make up very much of my full self anymore. Or if they do, they would be used in a productive way towards further evolution rather than hindering anything, I suppose.
You are indeed a being of light, and thank you for answering your own question.
Well, thank you for revealing to me that the answer was already there. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, the answers are always already there. As Chuck, of course, was willing to proffer if no one else did.
Brother
Are
Francis.
there any other queries?
Brother Francis is next.
Well, good evening, and thank you to the Tall Whites. My first time greeting you
No
and
tall
embracing.
whites here today.
Oh, okay.
We are the beings of light.
Beings of light.
We are the home world of the channeler. He is an extension of our energy. We come through directly. There is no need for actual channeling in this regard because he is an extension of us. We interrupted. Our apologies.
No, I needed a correction. In terms of the entire balance of collective, for the collective humanity, as we embrace more of our own light, how much of that is affecting every other place or being globally?
We understand the scope of your question, but the true answer is simply that you switch worlds because all of the activities of your planet are explored. All of the choices which are deemed relevant for the exploration, not only of the individual, but of the groups and the Earth collective as a whole, and other interested and engaging energies and beings. So there are the balance which you speak is merely all of the options being active at once creates a center point of an immense collection of dualities, we will say, and their branching offs. So that balance point energetically for the Earth collective is always maintained. It is the degree of perception of the individuals, of the society, which changes, not the realities. It is the changing of the channels, the stations, the viewpoints, the perceptions and not so much the altering of the world. It is stepping from one room into the next. And if you choose to go into the rooms which vibrate higher, then you will find more lightness and more of yourself there. And if you choose to explore rooms which may be darker, then you will find more of yourself there and a little denser environment, which may require more energy to release, to regain your vibrational frequency range you choose to attain.
Thank you.
We hope that resonated with you.
Yes, it did.
Christiana, you can
wish,
move forward to make a comment or a question.
before that, we wish to advise you that there are beings which are representing themselves as birds, which may come to you in the rest of your day. And should you venture out or see a bird looking at you, strike a telepathic conversation with it. See if it has messages for you and be grateful for its presence in your life. We will let you enjoy and explore what they may have for you and your questions or comments.
Thank you. That is so on point. The last month we have in our senior complex 5 peacocks. And every time I come home, they are crossing my path. They turn, they look at me, and I just express the beauty of them and their intelligence. And all I hear is in their cawing sound, love. I could feel it so strongly.
And of course, that is a representation of the energy which you are putting out. Peacocks have a fine sense of viewing the energetic portions of individuals, their auric field, not exactly their auric field, but more of a different emanation, we will say, which can have a profound effect on humans. Many humans have looked upon them and felt that there was just something there, but they could not pinpoint it. And perhaps you or others you know, with your peacock experiences, have noticed that there is something seemingly otherworldly about them. And that is the nature. That is their abilities. They have the ability to allow many other beings to participate in their experiences. And as they are frequently allowed around humans, the various souls appreciate that perspective as well, as it is another opportunity to view their creations in action.
Christiana, you're next.
Thank you. Greetings.
And to you.
Thank you for the co-creation and for all your lengthy answers. I have also been connecting a lot with birds recently, with ravens and pigeons and some other birds that seem to take the time to be around and look at me.
They have a desire to connect with you. Do you speak with them?
Always in my mind, I I sweet talk to them because that's what I do with pretty much everything I encounter.
That is an excellent answer. Do you have names for them?
What do you mean?
We suggest that to help further your relationship with them, that you develop individual bonds with them. The human labels, our names, can help with that. For if they are giving a loving name that they like, or even better, if you allow them to communicate a name they prefer to you, and you use that, you will find that that enhances your relationship in a more active way.
I see. Thank you very much for that suggestion.
But yes, ask them, strike up a conversation. It is good that you have those loving recognitions and you provide them with that loving intent and respect and gratitude for being in your existence. But greet them as you would a friend and say, you will know what to do. We don't need to inform you what to say.
I will follow your advice and see what happens. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome and making great strides. Your openness and willing to try will take you places that you wish to go.
I look forward to that.
And if you are accepted by the Raven, they will never forget you. You may even wish to offer them gifts, and they may indeed gift you in return.
Yes, we already have this. I have given them sunflower seeds and they have given me lots of beautiful feathers.
But ask them what they would prefer. That
Okay.
is the relationship that can be beneficial to you, for they are knowledgeable creatures and active as familiars in what humans understand.
Thank you for that suggestion also. I will follow up. Thank you.
Willa.
Hi again. Um, I thought of another one real quick. So what expressions of consciousness do you interact with most in your reality? Or is it only an interaction with the self on various levels? And if it is another form of consciousness, how would you describe it?
How would you describe an infinite number of lives? How would you describe energy which flows and has no form that you understand? Those are some of the communication barriers which we are encountering, trying to provide sufficient answer for that question. For we view consciousness as a divine, expanding, energetic, active, and very alive. Not even being, but just as existing as itself. Now, the humans insist or think of, and as is proper, putting those things in forms, in categories, in rankings. For us, consciousness's existence in all of its forms. Our energies help support many realms, even realms where we do not have a physicalized presence, we will say. And even in realms in which there are spirit only, in your way of thinking, we may be supportive without having what you may consider an active consciousness, but all of those consciousnesses are available to us, for we have progressed enough to tap into the resource pools which will allow us, through our myriad of connections, to, as you say, keep tabs on the various forms of consciousness. But your question is akin to us asking you, how do you feel about each individual cell in your body?
Well, it's all part of the whole picture, so they're all contributing to a bigger expression. But so I guess you could say for the way you experience all these different communications would be, multi-layered with just having a knowing of knowledge, access to information, and also an artistic expression of light and color and magical and wonderful things that we can't even conceive of, and perhaps many other expressions through an actual being or an embodiment of sorts. So I suppose what you're saying is that the answer would just be too broad to sort of condense down into a single answer, which is totally okay.
Actually, it is quite the opposite. It is the exceedingly simplistic answer which escapes you. We accept. We allow. Whatever consciousness is, in whatever forms, in whatever numbers, in whatever energies, we accept them as they are, as part of us, as part of Source. For it is all one. Now, we made the analogy of you and your cells so you could get a better idea, perhaps, of the scope of your question. But we do not have thoughts about other forms of consciousness. We merely have forms with other forms of consciousness. We allow them, and their resonance is our frequency resonance. We do not need to utilize any of the subclasses or divisions, as you say, for we, not being physicalized, can ascertain and coordinate and understand and love each expression of that consciousness exactly for what it is, without our appreciation affecting it, except for the love in which we engender within it. And
Thank
if
you
your
for
cells could talk to you, they would not merely say, we are here and we dream and we have visions and we have actions and goals of fulfillment. But you would just accept them as part of you, which we accept consciousness as part of us.
Thank you for your perspectives. I appreciate all the ways you answered that question.
We appreciate you reaching out to find more of yourself and to help you find other ways of explaining things to others, which, whether you know it or not, is your ultimate goal in all of these questions, to become the better teacher, mentor, which will be your role going forward. One
Thank you.
of your roles.
Do we still have some room for another question?
The floor is open.
Thank you. I'll take this opportunity. Uh, the birds, I want to talk about the birds a little bit more. So they have been a very important part of my experience for some time. And every day I have interactions with birds. All I need to do is go to the patio and I will encounter them. Uh, One of the things that I do is I whistle, rudimentary whistles work. And I try to synchronize with some of them, and they do respond. Uh, of course, you mentioned pay attention to the birds that are observing you, and there have been some interesting ones that have. Uh, or some of the ones that I have had the opportunity to observe at what I thought was considerable distance because I was using a telephoto lens, but they knew that I was observing them at distance. Very intelligent birds. Anyway, so I say that and at the same time, I remember some things that came to me in different ways. One of them came in a quantum healing session years ago, in which I saw beings that we can call tall, uh, that were essentially at the head of a bird. Uh, and they were I got the sense of extreme intelligence and wisdom, and the shapes form in what I would call essentially absolute darkness. You could barely tell that this is the shape of these beings. So ever since I have carried more and more an affinity for birds, and I figure I see how they become very important. Uh, so I guess it's an observation as much as anything else.
And thank you for that sharing. The mention of birds was more specific for your linear time currently, as there are interested beings who chose that method of perception for interacting with this group on their own terms. We will not provide you with any other information on that. It is not necessary. But as for your previous engagement, anytime you approach any of nature's beings in your authentic, loving self and intend with an open heart to communicate with them, such as trying to mimic their calls, you endear yourselves to them and quite possibly amuse them as well with your efforts. But it is the loving attempt at connection which will seize and bring and win the day for you. Now, when there are groups, things can just be birds. But when you sense that there is something extra, trust that feeling. Trust that sense, help develop that sense, engage with that consciousness so you can learn more about that being. Because as you know, it all happens for a reason. And if you approach those with the goal of finding out the reason, of learning more about that consciousness, it can only serve you and serve them, which is, of course, the cooperative efforts which hearts are based upon. And we will also add that maybe, just maybe, and consider this a hint, that perhaps you had wings in another form, in another realm, which you fondly remember.
Yeah, that resonates with me. Thank you. Doesn't seem like we have anybody stepping in with another question or comment. So, beings of light, if you have an additional message, we're here to receive it. And we
We
thank you.
really
Thank you.
sincerely appreciate the openness of this group, of the courage which each of you approaches each learning opportunity with a non-judgmental viewpoint of just seeing what is there for you and what you can take away from it. In your human evolution currently, in your time frames, you understand that that is a not as prevalent as any of you would wish, for it requires thinking and thoughts of self and what that means to you. And there are a lot of individuals on your planet who are too busy being themselves to think about what that means. So we thank all of you for being open and being leaders and being courageous and taking forth the responsibilities, each of you, in the coming ascension. For you all have your roles to play, and you are doing quite well, we will say. The timelines and probabilities are all, as always, in your favor. And we shall leave you to consider what you have learned from your endeavors today. And thank you for allowing us to be part of your experience. And know that your questions will help others who view this at a later date.
Thank you with deep appreciation and love.
Boy, they pop out fast.
Yeah.
It's
They have
in and
always
out.
done that with you.
I
Always,
know,
right?
it's like a light
Yeah.
switch.
Right.
And that goes back to one of the things that they said, that I'm not channeling them, that I am an extension of them. It's like they're having the conversation on their end and they just set up a speakerphone in me, as opposed to me actually doing anything. They're like, well, he's our puppet. We're going to make him do what we want him to do. Okay, I'm game. I don't know
Does
that that's a
anybody
very
have
accurate
an
analogy, but
anybody has an observation about what Ray just said in their own experience?
dun dun dun. Here comes the microphone.
I know nothing about that type of stuff popping in quickly. So I'm
Sure,
totally
John.
lost in this conversation, right?
We're not even sure who's telling us that. What are you talking about?
Sure you do. I'm laughing too much to be the other guy.
They're all blending. It's Chuck to say two, and those letters just kind of all jumble together at some point.
Well, C and D are pretty close to the alphabet, so yeah, right?
It just becomes this joined super being that we know as Chuck to say two.
or Christiana or Francis or Will or Wendy or Luis, whoever.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but not everybody has such fluidity in their channeling as you do. Now, Brother Francis obviously does because he can switch gears like nobody other than Mousy that I've seen. But, that's just amazing.
but you're
I
not
am
doing too badly there, Ray. You've been switching
yeah,
fairly fast, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
But not
looking
having
forward
like,
to experiencing Francis for the first time, so that'll be nice.
yes, I mean,
Oh,
he brought through over 10 beings with us on his first time visiting. Or maybe it was the second, I don't know.
Got them all queued up. Okay, guys, start
Yep.
taking numbers.
And
we
I'm
shall.
going to take a miniature break and then I will be back.
Yeah, we're gonna take a 5 minute break for sure, and then we'll be back 7:31, 32.
Sounds good.
And good to have you, all of you.